one mistake has bonded so many of us for years. It's a blood bond.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 horror sequel, Hell House LLC Lineage. The film is written and directed by Stephen Cognetti and it stars Elizabeth Vermelia, Sierra Sorka, Mike Sutton and Joe Bandelli. Now this is the fifth film in the Hell House franchise, a franchise that, generally speaking, I've been a big fan of. The first one is a classic found footage film, very, very good indeed. But I've enjoyed all the sequels to a large degree. The second one I thought was decent. The third one I thought it started kind of losing its way, and then it kind of got back on track with the fourth one a little bit. I thought that was quite effective. Now this one is the first one that is not filmed in the found footage style. This is traditionally filmed, and it focuses on a lady called Vanessa, and she's having like nightmares in Abaddon, and there's lots of mysterious deaths that are occurring around her. They're all connected to the Abaddon Hotel. They're all connected to the Carmichael Manor sort of thing. And there's just loads of unexpected murders, and people are being kind of stalked by this spectral clown, this demonic clown that's kind of hunting people down that have got a past and a history with Abaddon Hotel and Carmichael Manor. She has to kind of figure out what's going on in order to try and survive. Right, what are my thoughts on Hell House LLC Lineage? Well, I have been genuinely looking forward to this. It's now on Shudder. It's available on Shudder if you guys are interested in checking it out. I've been patiently waiting for it. It's actually been out a decent amount of time, sort of thing, but it's just arrived on Shudder, which is the first opportunity I've had to see it. And as I've said, I've been quite a fan of this franchise, and you guys know me. You know I'm a fan of found footage if you follow my content. I'm sorry, guys, but this film was desperately disappointing. Oh my goodness. I'm not really sure where to start with this. Now, the first thing I do want to say is it's filmed very well by Stephen Cognetti, who's been in charge of all the Hell House LLC films. He's written and directed all of them. I'm fairly sure of that. And it's filmed very well. It's nicely shot. It looks professional. The actors here all do a good job with the material that they've got. I don't really have a problem with the production values and the performances, really. The problem I have with this, and this is coming from someone who's pretty much a veteran of this franchise, I didn't have a bloody clue what was going on. This film is under the impression that not only do you watch these Hell House LLC films, you have studied them. You know all the characters. You know every single thing that's gone on, in an almost autistic way, because this film tells you nothing. There is no kind of prologue. There is no kind of explanation about what has happened in the previous films. We are just introduced to this film, to these characters that we are supposed to know or know of some of these events and this kind of stuff. And I didn't remember any of it. I'll be honest, the only Hell House film I remember quite deeply is the first one, because I've watched it the most, because it's the best one. The others I have I think I might watch the second one a couple of times, but beyond that I've only watched them really once. The other Hell House films, but this is like, it's almost arrogant in its approach, in a sense of you have to know everything before you watch this film, because you're not going to have a clue. Well, subsequently I didn't have a clue, because I couldn't follow the story. I didn't know who all these characters were. It was just weird how he chose to tell this story, knowing that there's a lot of story to tell. It's just become now a convoluted and confusing mess, this franchise, in my opinion. You've got the Abaddon Hotel, you've got the Carmichael Manor, you've got this kind of narration sort of thing, or this story between them two, but both of them, and you're kind of like, I'm confused. I'm just confused as to what's going on here now. I don't really understand it. And you don't really get what I would describe here as any kind of payoff at all, really. They even managed to make that clown not particularly scary. The clown that's been through the whole franchise that, we saw in the basement in the first one. I mean, it's appeared in all the Hell House films. They're not daft in the sense of they understand what audiences kind of levitate to, sort of thing, and clowns is always a good bet. So it's always been like the creepiest thing in the whole kind of franchise, the whole clown thing. So it's no different here. I mean, it certainly looks very creepy, but once you've seen it a few times kind of creeping up on people, you kind of, there's these people who apparently we're supposed to know, I think, but I don't know who they are. And there's like this cricket ball turns up. It looks like a cricket ball to me. And then this clown turns up, and then boom, the clown kind of chases them, and that's it. You hear screaming and they're dead. Okay, the first time you see it, it's kind of creepy. After that, you see it like 3 or 4 times in this film, and it's not creepy anymore. They've managed to make this clown not creepy anymore. And then there's a sequence in the film where a lady goes into Carmichael Manor for reasons. She takes a priest with her, and when they go in there, immediately spooky, creepy stuff starts happening. Everything that the priest tells her not to do, she does. So when she sees something creepy, he's basically saying to her, don't go in there. What do you think she does? She goes in there. She does that a couple of times. And then there's another sequence where this spooky thing happens and starts looking at her while he's doing his priestly stuff. And he's saying to her, don't look at it. Don't look at it. And what do you think she does? But she not just looks at it. She practically bloody stares at it. It infuriated me. You know what I mean? The fact that she was the one begging this priest to come along practically, and she didn't do anything he asked her to do. So this has to be a massive disappointment in my mind. This film, very, very disappointed with it. For me, it's easily the weakest of the franchise. I mean, I could handle the fact that it's moved away from found footage. I'm not saying it had to be found footage, but I just don't think he had enough material to tell the story. And to me, if you don't have that kind of material, stick to what you know. Stick to your found footage, because you might not have a brilliant story, but you can still scare the pants off people with the right scares in a found footage film. So the scares don't even work in this. And the story doesn't work in this, and I think it's probably time to put this franchise to rest now. Unfortunately, this is definitely not one I can recommend. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.